I'm Ed Stern. I'm lead writer at Splash Damage, and we're here in sunny San Francisco. You can have that for free, showing off Dirty Bomb, which is Splash Damage's new free-to-play first-person multiplayer shooter. This is Dirty Bomb, formerly known as Extraction, formerly known as Dirty Bomb, but we've kind of rolled that dice enough times now. We're sticking with Dirty Bomb. It's definitely going to be that. So I think you actually played it before when it was Extraction, but like it turned out we could trademark that or copyright it, but it's just like, come on, Dirty Bomb's a better, it's just better. It's a better name. So we're from London. Dirty Bomb is set in London. It's made out of London. It's made out of bits of London. We were too lazy to travel around the world. We just took the train, we went into town, we took photos of absolutely everything, we put it in our game. So Dirty Bomb is set in 2020. It turns out there was this radiological attack by persons unknown on central London in 2018. The whole area has been sealed off, but oh, I left my stuff in there. Could I not get someone to go in there for me? That's turned into a major industry. So the premise of the game is teams of mercs are sent into this kind of abandoned, contaminated zone. The thing about a Dirty Bomb is it's not really radioactive. You just can't stay there very long. But these guys, they get paid to kill each other. They do not care about the long-term future. That's not a problem. So it's not a really story-heavy game. We've got a huge amount of backstory we're very keen to show off, but just not yet. The word we're trying to put out at the moment is this game is out there, and we think it is meaningfully different from other games because it's a great time to be a gamer. There are so many excellent, either free-ish or you already own it multiplayer shooters. Why on earth play this? From our point of view, we have to give players a pressing, valid reason why they'd ever want to play this rather than the games that they already love. Because, why not? Why would we want to make it, let alone play it for, years and years? So we think that there is a gap in the market. We think that there is a kind of sweet spot in terms of player movement and lethality that no other game is quite touching. So for us, it's going back to our first game, kind of like the enemy territory games. Like, you move more than you shoot. When you start taking damage, you don't die straight away. You usually have the chance to do something about it. So frankly, it's quite demanding. Like, if it may not be for you, this is a hardcore only shooter. If you really prefer deathmatch, we don't have it. We're looking at deathmatch mode, but it's going to be team deathmatch. Maybe we'll do individual deathmatch, but the point of it is objective. The best stories we've ever had playing games have been multiplayer objective ones. Because if we play through a single-player game together, I love single-player games, but our experiences are pretty much identical, except for the baggage we bring to it. But with a multiplayer game, it's always different. I think the thing that's really made us feel more confident and kind of given us permission as designers to do this has been the rise of MOBAs. It's weird how those games have actually changed the way that shooters get played. For instance, it's now part of the PC gamer's kind of armory of skill, muscle memory, to watch a clock timer count down, and you've got a special ability, and if you catch those 3 enemy players, you're going to do something awesome. That's now part of multiplayer shooter gaming. So as you were playing there, we've got not really classes so much as individual mercenary characters. They're all cool, they've got their own voices, they've got their own backstory. We're not going to throw the backstory at you, that's not important. They're just awesome guys that let you play differently. So you can take 3 of them into battle. We'll sell you mercs if you want, but here's the deal. There is no content in the game that you cannot unlock just by grinding. Like, we've been in the situation, the cliche is you've either got the time or the money, but you've never got both. We want to solve that. If you are time rich, you can just grind and you can unlock everything in the game, and it's never pay to win. It's just not, why would we do that? We'd be cutting our own throats, because that would just be the death of community. It's like, oh really? It doesn't matter how good I am, someone else can just unlock a gold mega gun and kill me? That's no good. It's always about being killed. I mean, I don't mind dying in a game as long as the other guy's just flat out better than me. So the skill ceiling is really, really high. There's a lot of depth to the gameplay. There's a lot of emergent kind of stories involved, which does mean that maybe your first hour in the game is going to be kind of tough, particularly before we know how good you are, so we can play match you with other players of similar, skill level. So it's kind of a weird sell for the game. It's like, this game may not be for you. You may not have enough skills. Sorry, there's no pleasant way of saying that. If you are this is not your first multiplayer shooter. There are some wonderful games out there. I'd point to kind of newbie players too. But if you are kind of down with classes or individual merc abilities, or you're used to playing MOBAs and going, oh, I get it, I play this guy like this, then I think you're going to have a lot of fun in Dirty Bomb. We've got some cool maps. Some of them are relatively straightforward, we had one terminal, which is just destroy, then destroy. There's actually 2 destroy objectives at the end, but it's really, really simple. It's just, okay, plant C4, make sure they don't disarm it, it blows up, it opens up a route into a new objective. We're also showing off another bridge, a map here, it's called Bridge, based on London Bridge, kind of on Borough Market, if you've ever been to London. It's a great food market there. Of course we do, based on, we wouldn't dare. we wouldn't dare infringe on their trademark copyright.
So talk about how your free-to-play mentality works. Are the heroes going to be, or the fighters going to be in a rotation? Do you buy loadouts, guns? How does that work?
Okay, well, as gamers, we have seen it done wrong, and we have no desire to do that again. So there are always going to be 2 mercs free. Like, we'll rotate them, but every single merc will be playable at some point without you spending any money whatsoever. Also, as you play, you will unlock weapon cases, kind of like crate drops, it's a pretty standard thing. And there'll be maybe a weapon skin or a sight or a loadout card. So a loadout card is a way of tailoring that character. Like, maybe a slightly different weapon, or maybe there'll be, like, there's kind of different values of them. There's lead, bronze, iron, silver, gold. Augments are kind of like... things like not taking damage from falls, or being able to run a little faster, or switch weapons a little faster. They're relatively subtle. Oh, I should say about the movement, there's actually more free running and parkour in this game than there was in Brink. We just don't want to throw too much at people right now. We just want to get to say, look, there is a fast-paced action shooter called Dirty Bomb. You will not believe the videos and GIFs of what players in the beta have been doing. Suddenly going, you're running through a map at ground level, and they've all got to work if you're just playing on the ground. And you see like some other player just go, beep, 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 and they've got this completely different route through to the objective. Like, how do you do that? We'd much rather players discover that for themselves rather than us say, here is, you must play the game like this. Because it's all about players expressing themselves and finding a cool way to play the game. It's a service. It's a live game. We don't own it. We carry on supporting it. However people want to play, we're going to let them play that. We've got a roadmap mapped out of what we think we're doing for the next year. We could be totally wrong. Whatever players want more of, we will give them more of. If they don't like it, we'll make less of it. So we think we know what extra maps we're doing. We think we know what extra game planes we're going to be delivering. We think we know which extra mercs we're going to be delivering. But if players want other stuff, we'll do that instead. So it's a really different mindset. We're used to thinking, okay, we've got to put it all into a box retail product, and once it's there, the opportunities to update it are kind of limited. We are only making this for PC. We're not making any console ports of it at all at the moment. We're not even, who knows, down the road, maybe, I have no idea. But right now, PC only. Some controller support, because we think it's really important for, like, there's some physically handicapped gamers, it's really important for them. To be honest, I think we could do a better job of that right now, but we're developing. We're in closed beta at the moment, so we don't have everything into the degree of polish that we want. For instance, the shop, the way you unlock weapons cases and loadout cards, it's functional, but it's kind of fugly at the moment. Sorry guys, back at the office, I didn't... it works, but for instance, inevitably, like, there'll be some mercs that you prefer to others. Like, I really like playing as this guy, I don't really like playing as her. Then the loadout cards for the characters you don't play, you can trade in for ones that you do. That's just simple. Why would we lumber you with something you don't actually want to do? So you can specialize in that stuff. But, you unlock stuff all the time whenever you level up. We're getting much better at the player matching, which is just vital, because you don't want to... I don't mind being owned for the first kind of half hour, but if I carry on just being headshot non-stop, neither of us is having a great deal of fun. So, we'll player match you to a decent server. Also, the competitive servers, they're going to be level 7 and above. We'll only unlock them if you put that amount of time into the game, which is, we assume means you've played the maps, you know the objectives, you know the routes, you know the different characters, and you know their abilities. Whereas if you're still trying to work out how to, if you're not using a mouse and you're just kind of like mouse look up and down, like, we might not let you into the competitive clan servers.